Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna,
Krishna devotees, please accept my humble obeisances. All goes Sri Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. Rukmini Mataji, whenever you're ready, you can start Mataji with prayers.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees, please accept my humble obeisances. All goes to Sri Prabhupada. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayana Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devin Saraswati Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayat Nastapraya Brishu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Tam Shloke Bhaktir Bhavatanashtaki. So today we're continuing Canto 1, Chapter 17, Punishment and Reward of Kali, text 31. The king thus said, "We have inherited the fame of Arjuna. Therefore, since you have suffered yourself with folded hands, you need not fear for your life. But you cannot remain in my kingdom, for you are the friend of irreligion." 32. If the personality of Kali, irreligion, is allowed to act as a man-god or an executive head, certainly irreligious principles like greed, falsehood, robbery, incivility, treachery, misfortune, cheating, quarrel, and vanity will be abound. 33. Therefore, O friend of irreligion, you do not deserve to remain in a place where experts perform sacrifices according to truth and religious principles for the satisfaction of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. 34. In all sacrificial ceremonies, although sometimes a demigod is worshipped, the Supreme Personality of Godhead is worshipped because he is super soul of everyone and exists both inside and outside like the air. Thus, it is he who awards all welfare to the worshipper. 35. Sri Shtuta Goswami said, the personality of Kali, thus being ordered by Maharaj Parikshit, began to tremble in fear. Seeing the king before him like Yamaraj, ready to kill him, Kali spoke to the king as follows. 36. Oh, your majesty, though I may live anywhere and everyone under your order, I shall but see you with a bow and arrows wherever I look. 37. Therefore, O chief amongst the protectors of religion, please fix some place for me where I can live permanently under the protection of your government. 38. Sutta Goswami said, Maharaj Parikshit, thus being petitioned by the personality of Kali, gave him permission to reside in places where gambling, drinking, prostitution, and animal slaughter were performed. 38. The personality of Kali asked for something more, and because of his begging, the king gave him permission to live where there is gold, because wherever there is gold, there is also falsity, intoxication, lust, envy, and enmity. 40. Thus, the personality of Kali, by the directions of Maharaj Parikshit, the son of Uttara, was allowed to live in those 5 places. 41. Therefore, whoever desires progressive well-being, especially kings, religionists, public leaders, brahmanas, and sannyasis, should never come in contact with the 4 above mentioned irreligious principles. 42. Thereafter, the king re-established the lost legs of the personality of religion, the bull, and by encouraging activities, he sufficiently improved the condition of the earth. 43, 44. The most fortunate emperor Maharaj Parikshit, who was entrusted with the kingdom of Hastinapur by Maharaj Yudhisthira, when he desired to retire to the forest, is now ruling the world with great success due to his being glorified by the deeds of the kings of the Kuru dynasty. 45. Maharaj Parikshit, the son of Abhimanyu, is so experienced by the dint of his expert administration and patronage, it has been possible for you to perform a sacrifice such as this. Thus ends the Bhaktivinoda purports of the first canto, 17th chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled Punishment and Reward of Kali.
Thank you, Rukmani Priya Masaji, for reading those purports. For translations, Hare Krishna, dear devotees, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. I'm sorry I'm not able to turn my video on because I have cold and I have to keep blowing my nose, so I don't want you to see it. So we will start. It's the end of the chapter almost. I mean, not almost. It is the end of the chapter, text 31 through 45. So we are reading about Maharaj Parikshit, who was a great king, confronted Kali and told him up to leave and surrendered to Maharaj Parikshit. So in text 31, it says that Maharaj Parikshit said that since you surrendered, I will not kill you, but you cannot remain in my kingdom, because this kingdom is that kingdom where Lord Krishna is worshipped. So you cannot stay here. Now we will see what Kali tells Maharaj Parikshit in the verses afterwards. So just the one Siddhanta that I thought was, the friends of religiosity should be banished from the state, and that will save the state from corruption. So if you want to save a country from corruption, then we have to remove this irreligiosity, that is meat eating, intoxication, illicit sex, and gambling. In text 32, so Maharaj Parikshit is telling to the Kali who has surrendered. So from the purport, Srila Prabhupada says that the principles of religion, namely austerity, cleanliness, mercy, and truthful, may be followed by the follower of any faith. And there is no need to turn from Hindu to Mohammedan to Christian or some other faith and thus become a renegade and not follow the principles of religion. And the Bhagavatam religion urges following the principles of religion. So in this purport, Srila Prabhupada is clearly saying that our Krishna consciousness movement is not about being a Hindu or a Muslim or a Christian or a Jew. These are just external designations. The principles that are taught in Srimad Bhagavatam are universal, and therefore it is for everyone, because Srimad Bhagavatam is instructing the soul. In text 33, in the purport of the verse, Srila Prabhupada says that the basic principle of religion is truthfulness, and the ultimate goal of all religion is to satisfy the Lord. And in this age of Kali, the greatest common formula of sacrifice is the Sankirtan Yajna. So here, Srila Prabhupada is saying that mainly Sankirtan Yajna to subdue the effects of Kali. That is chanting the holy name individually and collectively. And that will drive away Kali and it will be peaceful. In text 34, it's talking about demigods. So even if we are worshipping a demigod, we are actually worshipping Krishna, but in a wrong way or avidhipurvak. in this, he's saying, we worship Krishna. Maharaj Parikshit is saying, in this, that we worship Krishna in our kingdom, and we are Krishna's devotees, and you cannot stay here as you are against the principle of Krishna and you are adharmic. So Parikshit Maharaj is saying to Kali, you go away and you cannot stay in my kingdom. In text 35, so see, in the previous verses, we saw that the calf and the bull were trembling. Now Kali is trembling with fear. And one Siddhanta is that one, just by looking at how Parikshit Maharaj is, that one should not become a leader unless one is like Maharaj Parikshit. One should not be a leader unless one can remove the adharma, because that is the duty of a king. So if we cannot fulfill our duties properly, then we should not become a leader. In text 36, now here Kali will respond to Maharaj Parikshit, because Maharaj Parikshit said, you cannot stay anywhere on the earth, and Kali is telling that you're telling me to go away and cannot stay in your kingdom, but my dear King Maharaj Parikshit, wherever I go, I am so afraid of you, so I will see you wherever I go, holding your bow and arrow. So in the purport, so the personality of Kali was meant for mischief, and Maharaj Parikshit was meant for subduing all kinds of mischief mongers, especially the personality of Kali. So here there is a conflict between Sura and Asura, the evil and good, which is like always at the conflict. Text 37, which is the purport of the day, very powerful, very small, but powerful. Kali is saying that, I'm going to read the translation. Kali is speaking. Kali is calling Maharaj Parikshit, O chief amongst the protectors of Dharma, please give me a permanent house to live, not a rental one under your protection. Kali doesn't know. So we know that Kali doesn't know. Nothing is permanent in this world. So in the purport, we saw that even in the translation that Kali addressed Maharaj Parikshit as the chief amongst the protectors of religiosity, because the king refrained from killing a person who surrendered unto him. So Maharaj Parikshit has not killed Kali because he has surrendered. Kali has surrendered. And a Kshatriya should never kill a person who has surrendered. By not killing, Maharaj Parikshit has protected a dharma. A surrendered soul should be given all protection, even though he may be an enemy. So Kali is enemy, and because he surrendered to Maharaj Parikshit, he gave up his royal dress, gave up his club, and then surrendered. He touched his head to the lotus feet of Maharaj Parikshit, and he forgave him. So that is the principle of religion. And we can just imagine what sort of protection is given by the personality of Godhead to the person who surrenders unto him, not as an enemy, but as a devoted servitor. So just to learn something from here, or just realize that if demons who surrendered are given full protection and forgiven, Srila Prabhupada is saying, what to speak of a devotee whose whole life is surrendered unto Lord Krishna? Imagine the fortune of a devotee who is always thinking of Krishna, bowing down to Krishna. What will happen to the devotees who follow Srila Prabhupada? The mercy is there. We know that the mercy is there because we are connected to Srila Prabhupada. The Lord protects the surrendered soul from all sins and all resultant reactions of sinful acts. So please think about or think deeply about the text 37 about surrendering to the Lord. Text 38. So the 4 regulatory principles that Srila Prabhupada has given directly cancel out Kali for devotees. Prabhupada says no meat eating, no intoxication, no gambling, no illicit sex. So we are saved from Kali. So in the translation it said, Maharaj Parikshit, thus being petitioned by the personality of Kali, gave him permission to reside in places where gambling, drinking, prostitution, and animal slaughter were performed. So if we are properly following those 4 regulatory principles, Kali may not touch us. So from the purport, by gambling, truthfulness goes away. Panam, which is intoxication, means no austerity. Illicit connection with women for sexual gratification, our cleanliness goes away. Animal slaughter destroys mercy. So if we have lust, we cannot approach Sri Radha and Krishna. Therefore, we have to give up these asangas or association of these things. In text 39, the personality of Kali asked for something more because those things were not present in his kingdom, because it was ruled by Parikshit, Maharaj Parikshit. So Kali asked for more. And in the translation, and because this begging, the king gave him permission to live where there is gold, because wherever there is gold, there is also falsity, intoxication, lust, envy, and enmity. And these are the irreligious principles. From this, we learn that as devotees, we also never come in contact with irreligious principles. Then Kali will not come in our life. Text 40. So by the direction of Maharaj Parikshit, Kali was allowed to live in those 5 places. What are those? Intoxication, gambling, meat eating, illicit sex, and gold. That's where Kali is. So be careful. And in the purport, if a Brahmana is not truthful, all his claims as a Brahmana at once become null and void. In one of the lectures, and he was so truthful that, which I heard, that if a Brahmana has never lied in his whole life, has a power to curse, right? So sometimes we see a lot of people curse, but it doesn't come in, it won't be effective because they have lied in their life, if they have lied in their lives. And if the Brahmana has never lied in his life, the curse will take effect, but if not, then it won't. If a sannyasi is illicitly connected with women, all his claims as a sannyasi at once become false. And similarly, if the king and the public leader are unnecessarily proud or habituated to drinking and smoking, certainly they become disqualified to discharge public welfare activities. So here, truthfulness is the basic principle for all religion. We should try to be truthful as far as possible. We should not lie. Sometimes we have to protect devotees or to protect dharma. But besides that, there is no need to lie. So, so that's what we learn from here. In text 42, Maharaj Parikshit, he sent Kali away where there is gold, meat eating, intoxication, illicit sex, and gambling. And then he restored the 3 broken legs of Dharma, which is bull, and restored Mother Earth, cow, in her healthy condition. He perfectly improved her. So we should be we should be very careful with money. It can create so much quarrel in anyone. So therefore, we should be very clean in money. we should use it in Krishna's service. In the purport, Maharaj Parikshit, it says, therefore, like his grandfather Arjuna collected all illicit gold kept for propensities of Kali and employed it in the Sankirtan Yagya as per instruction of the Srimad Bhagavatam. And in the purport, it says, like we have learned in the Nectar of Instructions too, that one's accumulated wealth may be divided into 3 parts for distribution, namely 50% for service of the Lord, 25% for the family members, and 25% for personal necessities. And if you spend 50% for the service of the Lord or for the propagation of spiritual knowledge in the society, by the way of the Sankirtan Yagya, is the maximum display of human mercy. In text 43 and 44, so Sutta Goswami is telling Sanaka Rishi at Naimisharanya that now Maharaj Parikshit is ruling, that now Maharaj Parikshit is ruling in the present tense. Sutta Goswami is saying that right now, as we speak. So the present tense is used here to indicate the nearest margin of time from the past. And there's also one more reason, that for continuous fact, the present tense is used, which is continuous. It will continue. The principle of Maharaj Parikshit can still be continued, and human society can still be improved if there is determination by the authorities. So think about ISKCON. Srila Prabhupada has left a long time ago, and we are still at this. The ISKCON is still running by the principles set by Srila Prabhupada. Last text 45. Sutta Goswami is telling Shanagat Rishi that you're all performing yagyas with peace in Naimisharanya. And you know why? Because Maharaj Parikshit is such a good king. So in the purport, it says austerity, cleanliness, mercy, and truthfulness, the basic principle of religion, prepare the ground for the reception of advancement in spiritual knowledge. And Maharaj Parikshit made this favorable condition possible. So just a quick summary, since we're at the end of the chapter, that finally Maharaj Parikshit restores the 3 legs and he was ruling the kingdom nicely. That's how the chapter ends. And one of the key lessons from this chapter is from the interaction of Dharma and Parikshit, Maharaj Parikshit. We can see that we have to understand whatever is happening, if someone is doing something bad to us, harming us, that may be the immediate cause. But the ultimate cause is, number 1, which is the Supreme Lord has sanctioned it. And 2, it is happening because of our previous misdoings, previously whatever we did. And that does not mean we don't do anything practically. We don't do practically anything. No. We need to practically do whatever is needed. That's okay. But we should not be caught up in retaliation and getting disturbed with that situation that we're not able to perform devotional service itself. So that means we need to learn to tolerate the circumstances, but practically doing something about it that is still acceptable. And we have to look at the mercy of Krishna in any situation and take shelter of Krishna in all circumstances. That is what we need to learn and practice. We have to learn that because of our past karma, some of the good or bad things are happening. When bad things are happening, we have to learn that because of Krishna's mercy, they are reducing to a very smaller extent. And with that, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, thank you so much, Madhavi. Oh, wonderful class. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare
Hare Krishna.
Bhagavatam.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.